Hello and welcome to our review of Beetlejuice 2, if you don't fancy saying it all that many times, because he will appear 3 times.
He will appear. You did just say it 3
I
times.
did. He's here with me. I wish he was.
Yeah, he's going to kill you.
So this released this weekend. We both watched it, and I think we both have.
Did, yeah.
No, we've watched something on time, and we're getting it out on time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Happy. So I think we both had very differing opinions.
We did, yeah.
To begin with, I think we're very different on the original.
Yes.
I have a lot of nostalgia for the original. It's one of my favourites. I could put it on right now and have the best time of my life.
Yeah, I have zero nostalgia for it.
Exactly.
Like, it's something I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I did, and it was out, but it wasn't something that I watched.
Yes.
I watched it,
Yeah.
maybe 2-3 times, maybe.
This was a staple in my house because my brother was obsessed with this film. So this was a staple growing up for us. So this had a lot of stuff riding on it for me. When they announced it, I didn't really care. Just because it was 30 something years after 27 at least 27.
Yeah, I think it's cut up to 30 years, isn't it?
And I think that is such a long time to wait for a sequel. And obviously, I'm kind of getting burnt out with these whole legacy sequel things. I'm starting to be a bit like, this is all we're doing. Obviously, this year we've got loads of them coming. We've got this and Gladiator, just to name a few. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is all we get now. It's legacy sequels, reboots, and all that. So
yeah.
I was hoping this would be good. I wasn't expecting it to be amazing, but I wanted to really enjoy it. Now I've come away enjoying it, not loving it. I enjoyed it. What do you think?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I think this is.
I can't believe you loved this. Genuinely,
I think this is up there with the best film Burton's done.
Wow, those are big words.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's not.
No, but
we'll get into
to his like fan base. Obviously, people think this.
Oh
guy
yeah,
is
but I'm not.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not part of his fan base. Let's just get that clear. Yeah. Like, I like Burton. He's all right. I'm not like, oh my god, everything.
See, I'm kind of the same. I think he has a lot of bangers and a lot of misses. So, I've never really cared that much. But
no, but this is. I mean, it takes everything from the first film and just makes it better for me. I think the animation style, firstly, is still that like stop motion clay sort of look, but it's like refined and it looks
fantastic.
It looks beautiful. I mean, that whole scene on the plane.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So no, that was great. I think it's just chaos. Yeah. Like, this entire film is just this. It's like constantly just going. You don't really have like a moment to stop, really. Yeah. Which I think is what I kind of enjoy. Because what is it? Hour and a half?
This is 1 hour and 45 minutes.
1 hour 45. Bloody hell, that flew by. Because I think there's so much chaos going on. I like the fact that there is more in the afterlife. They do a lot more.
Yes, they do.
In the afterlife in this film, which was great. I think the effects are they're still stupid, but they're so good.
I think that was the crown jewel of this film, though. The way he didn't go out and make it a more sophisticated film or a more grown-up film is the actual best part of this film. The fact that they kept it practical, there is CGI in it, but it's only noticeable when it's noticeable, realistically. I think the effects are the best part of this film, and the fact that he kept to literally, when people, you've seen it in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but when people like die, they're like rubber. They're just a rubber thing, and I think it's so good. I think it's great.
Yeah. No, it was hilarious. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I went with my mother's. We all had a great time. Yeah. They haven't stopped chatting about it since.
Really?
Like they just we all just had like a really good time with it. I think it's just fun.
That's such a wholesome story.
Fun. No, but it is though. It's just fun. It's like, it was, as I said, it was just a million miles an hour. But like, at no point I wasn't bored at all. Yeah. I found myself really enjoying it, and especially when that last. I'm not going to talk about it, but the whole last like third, whatever it is, like quarter, whatever, is just damn.
Yeah, so the third act of this film is great. I hate to be negative about this film because I really, as I said, the first Beetlejuice I hold very near and dear.
What don't you like about it?
Right. So what I don't like about it, to begin with, there's too many storylines going on. Too many
Yeah,
storylines, and some of them wrap up in the worst way that I could have imagined.
I know the one you're on about. And I
specifically
understand.
Beetlejuice's ex-wife and Willem Dafoe.
I didn't mind that so much. Oh, what?
So
What do you mean?
right? So here's my issues. Those two characters were some of my favorites. I thought they were fucking great. You see them at the beginning quite heavily for the first 20 minutes. They're gone for an hour. Then they come back in the third act. That pissed me off.
That is a Beetlejuice thing. Though.
Yeah, and I 100% get it. But when you're setting up the storyline of this is Beetlejuice's ex-wife and we're going to see all the history between them, I was like, oh my god, yes. When you get that moment of seeing Beetlejuice, sorry, I'm going into spoilers here, but I'm just going to jump into it because I don't think there's anything majorly spoiler. Like, if you know Beetlejuice, it's not really anything. But if you haven't seen it, maybe come back once you've seen it. But it's not that big of a deal. But you get his kind of history with her, which I thought was so interesting. And it ties into the original.
Like,
so funny, right? So good.
Yeah.
But then the ex-wife, as I was getting invested, just fucked off for a while. But that was like one of the core storylines. Yeah, and I was like, well, hang on, I want to see more of her because her intro's great. The cameo that you get in the beginning, I know was in the trailer, like to a degree, was so funny. Yeah. I loved it. He's literally playing a character from something else, which is like the same character. It's fucking great.
Oh, is it? I didn't know what he's from.
So spoilers, it's Danny DeVito, and it's basically Frank from Sunny. Like, he is literally the same character.
Okay, I see.
It's so funny. But that intro is so good. And I was like, oh my god, this is about to be hilarious. The practical effects pop off. I was like, this is great. And then she just fucks off for a bit. And I was like, this character's so interesting. I want more of this. But we spent so much time with the Dietz family. Now, I love this Dietz family, right? From the first one, obviously I do. I thought Jenna Ortega was pointless, unfortunately. Did not enjoy her character at all.
Okay.
I wanted to, because I do like Jenna Ortega, but I feel like she is just pushed into this limelight now of this is a horror icon. Personally, for me, she's not that.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I like her a lot. I like her mainly in Scream. I think she was very good in those. But with everyone just like pushing it, and she's clearly going to become a Tim Burton mainstay. It's very obvious. I just think they push a lot of attention on it, and I don't think it's warranted that much.
I think in a way, I think she was almost. They needed someone new. They did.
Yes, yeah. It's a generation barrier.
Yeah, and I think she brings people in. She does, like she's huge. She is massive, and unfortunately, like obviously for us, people like Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder are huge, but for now, Winona probably a bit more than Michael Keaton. Like Michael Keaton's kind of been around, but I don't know if like kids will be like, oh my god, there's Michael Keaton.
No way.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas obviously like Winona Ryder's a bit more
Stranger Things
around.
and that,
She's done Stranger Things. She's sort of like people are more aware of her. But yeah, I think Jenna Ortega was basically brought in because they did need someone new. You do whenever you've got like these sort of films, especially between 27 years, you can't just go here's the same cast again.
And I completely agree with it. Yeah, I do agree with it. I
do understand what you're saying though. Yeah. I think her story was probably the most disappointing thing of the film,
and it was all over the place again with her story. Things moved way too fast and then they were over with, and I think my biggest issue with this film is just the pacing of the storylines, not of the film itself, the storyline, because some of them last the whole film, like fucking Lydia and Rory. Their relationship is the fucking worst. Rory is one of the worst characters I've seen this year. You know, the fiance?
You didn't like him?
I hated him.
Oh, wow.
Did you like him to do?
I just found him funny. I just found the whole... I understand, and I think it's a very extreme caricature of, like, the sort of zen, like, hey, man, everything's cool. Yeah. But I kind of like the fact that, like, a lot of shit went wrong for him, and he was just sort of reacting how you would react when these things happen.
Yeah, and like I said, to a degree, I see what they were going for, obviously. I don't know if the actor was the right choice for that. I don't really think he has the chops for that kind of performance. He just annoyed me to a point, and I was just like, and he was on screen a lot. Like, this character
I think that's kind of the point, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think,
know what you mean.
Again, I just need to rewatch this film because I think I went in with the complete wrong mindset. I went in I want to love this like Beetlejuice. It was never going to be... Well, I know you say you find it better, which is fine. But I don't think it was ever going to reach the level that a lot of us hold that film to. So unfortunately, I
No, I
went in
think
with
if
the
you're
complete wrong mindset.
yeah, I think if you're a full like, well, I'd be quite interested to know what like the full hardcore. Because you said your brother enjoyed it, didn't he?
He loved it.
Yeah, so I'm quite interested to see what the hardcore sort of Beetlejuice fans think of it because I think
People seem
I
to be
can
really,
understand.
really, really fucking with it. They do.
Yeah, because I think it's literally up there now, isn't it? I think it's only really Deadpool and what's it called, Inside Out,
Yeah.
that have done better than it this year now.
Oh,
From opening weekend,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
This is
pretty
the
sure it was revealed.
This is one of the highest of
Yeah,
the
I
year.
think I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they said like, yeah, this is like the third highest grossing of the
Mm.
year, like which is it's been a solid year. It hasn't been like
No,
blockbuster
and I'm
year,
glad
but
it's doing well. I want this to do
mm,
well. I want people
mm.
to love it, and I want to love it. But I've got so many issues. Like I'll just continue into some of my issues because I do have a lot, and
Wow,
I hate to be that guy.
yeah,
Right, Willem
yeah,
Dafoe's character. I can't remember his name.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he Wolf Jackson, right? So I
Jackson, yeah.
saw reviews of this film where people were like, "It's great, it's gold," but Willem Dafoe sucks, and I was like, "Oh, that's unusual." He came on
That's
screen,
wrong.
and I fucking love this character. Right,
Yeah, he's
the design
fantastic.
of this character is sick. His
Yeah,
whole comedic presence, like this is Willem Dafoe at his funniest, in my opinion. He's fucking
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
But
No, he is.
again, he's gone for so much of this runtime, and he has a really big storyline. So his storyline is he kind of
Yeah.
like deals with the crimes of the afterlife. So people are getting murdered essentially, and he's dealing with dead people getting murdered. What a fucking brilliant storyline that is.
Hmm.
That is so good, and I just don't think they do enough of it. And then by the end of it, it's like, yeah, he's done. And I'm like, oh, what?
I think I can understand it with the bride. I think he's in it more than you remember. There are definitely he's sprinkled a lot more throughout than the
No,
bride. The
he
bride
is.
literally doesn't like she, as you said, she pretty much is there,
Yeah. No,
really.
and he
But
definitely
yeah,
is in it more. 100% he is.
yeah,
But I don't know. I can't help but think someone like Willem Dafoe, who is playing one of the funniest characters I've ever seen him play, and so ridiculous. I just wanted more. I don't think we needed to focus on so much of Lydia and Rory and Astrid, that family. I just don't think we needed all of the whole, I'm your stepdad, you can come talk to me. I didn't care about that. I don't care about that.
yeah.
I want to
No,
see
I
the
know.
crimes of the afterlife, man.
Yeah, no, of course. But I think it's kind of that's it is what the first film's about, though. When you take your little cap off now and stop being such a
This, yeah, but
Beetlejuice
so
fanboy.
this is
And I
my other
mean,
issue. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there, but that first Beetlejuice, I think all those characters are fucking perfection. Like every single character in that film hits. And again, yes, it's just me, right? This is just me being nostalgic for it. But you think, maybe not you so much, because I know you said you don't really have much for it. But the character of Otho, do you remember Otho in the original? The guy, he's like a fashion designer, and he goes in the house and he says how he's going to decorate it and shit like that. He wears the
oh
suit.
yeah.
That character is one of the funniest characters in existence to me. I find him fucking hilarious, right? And I feel like they tried to replicate him with this Rory character to a degree, and it just didn't work. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
One of my
Yeah.
bigger problems with this, though, I hated they used Jeffrey Jones's likeness so much. You know, the husband from the first one.
Mm.
Do you know about him in real life?
No.
So he's a convicted bad man. Let's put it that way. Yes, he is not good. He is on a list, on a register for certain things. Yeah, yeah, disgusting. So I like that in this film they killed him off. Very funny, a massive fuck you to him, right? Love that. But you got to admit his likeness in this film is fucking everywhere. On his grave, his face. Like he is all over this film, and I didn't fuck with it at all. It felt really uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but
No.
that's yeah, because I mean he's unfortunately he has a good part in it.
So
I know it's not him.
No, I
but
like what they did with it. Like
the character was funny.
Yeah.
It was.
And like obviously they've changed his voice so much, and obviously again, sorry for the spoilers, he's not, you can't see his face when you see his character because he's dead, and there's a reason you can't see it, which that's a massive fuck you to him, and I like that. If they had just done that, I would have been fine with it. But the claymation bit is so clearly based on his face, it's unreal. And then all over his grave, and there's pictures of him everywhere. That felt weird to me.
Yeah, no, that is weird. Killing him off is fine, but yeah, yeah, okay, I see that.
Yeah,
that's fair. As I said, I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, that's very questionable.
Yeah, I'm someone who can I can separate the art from the artist a lot of the time, but when you're
Yeah.
literally if you read after we finish this, go read what he did. It's not nice.
Okay.
So to use his
I want
likeness
to.
throughout this whole film, I because he probably got paid royalties for it.
You know, he would 100% because it's definitely him, isn't it?
That does not feel right to me at all. At all.
No, and I think especially with, I mean, I'm assuming he didn't want to go back. I'm pretty confident he didn't want to go back, but with the omission of Alec Baldwin,
Yes. So the only reason they
which
didn't
is
have
more.
those two was because they've aged, unfortunately. They're older, and in the film obviously they're dead.
Mm,
So they,
yeah,
even if they wanted to, they wouldn't have really been able to make it work unless they de-aged them. So I'm kind of glad they're not in it, but I also miss their presence a lot.
yeah. I mean, there is like a little sort of throwaway line, which is
Yeah,
kind of wholesome in a
there
way that
is.
they figured out a way of getting them on the train. I guess,
Yeah,
isn't it? Really?
right. Yeah. But I'll get into some positives now because I'm sick of being
Okay.
negative on it. Because
Yeah,
as
fully
I
out.
have said, I like this film. I really like
Yeah.
it, and I really want to love it. I think I need to watch it maybe one or two more times just to really kind of get what they were going for.
Hmm.
Positives though, let's be honest, Michael Keaton is fucking tremendous.
Hmm.
Tremendous. He has not missed it at all. It's like he's
No,
been
he's
doing it his whole
fantastic,
life.
isn't
It is
he?
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, he is fantastic, isn't he? And it's kind of interesting because he feels like he's in this film a lot, but he's not. So I
So
think I think they said there's like a minute extra or something like that.
so the
He
first one I think is 14 minutes. I think it's 17 in this one.
or 17, yeah, because I
Yeah.
think he made a point, didn't he, of being like, I don't make this. I want it to
Yeah.
be similar. I don't want to be just everywhere.
And it
But I
is
think he was
perfect.
sprinkled in a lot better
Yeah,
in this film.
I almost feel like there was bits like maybe like 5 minute segments of him rather than like
Yeah,
1 2 minute segments,
yeah,
which I thought was
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. No, he is great today. Winona Ryder's fantastic as well.
I'm a little bit mixed on it. Her performance is good, but I feel like Lydia in the original was so macabre and kind of depressed, whereas in this one she smiles an awful lot, and it just kind of felt like it's a
Yeah,
very different take on the same character.
yeah, I
Not
get what you
negative,
mean.
not a
But
negative, but
she is
felt different.
she's older, like.
Yeah. Catherine
I think it'd be
O'Hara,
weird if she was still. Ooh.
Delia
Oh,
Deetz. Jesus Christ, she's fantastic. I love
she's
him.
great.
I
She's
love
probably got the best character progression, doesn't she?
so good, so good.
Yeah.
And
And
then
her death is so good.
oh, it's fucking
I know it's
hilarious.
spoilers again, but it's
No,
so funny. Like,
and then the whole any scene that takes place in the afterlife, perfect,
yeah.
perfect.
Which I mean, is probably. I think that's probably what I love more about this film, which is kind of interesting that you. I understand your problems with it, and I understand the whole sort of thing of you being like, I don't really want the family involved, but I feel like this is like half the amount of time the family was involved in this film felt like than it
Mm.
was in the original Beetlejuice. I felt like the original Beetlejuice was far more like family. Here's the house. Like we had little bits of the
Yeah.
afterlife, but nothing really.
No,
Whereas
and
this film felt like a good split, really. If
yeah,
not, there was more afterlifey stuff than it
100%.
was
Yeah,
real life
I
stuff.
completely agree with everything you're saying. My issue is the characters were handled better in the original.
That's it.
In this, as I said, for me, just it was mainly Jenna Ortega and the fiance. Those
That's it.
two just felt like I don't know. I don't know what the issue is, but I think when you
Mm.
compare it to the original, and you've got the family, you've got Barbara and Adam, you've got all this going on, and then Beetlejuice in the mix, it kind of comes together lovely. Like it just kind of works.
Yeah.
But I could watch Beetlejuice for the first time now and hate it. Do you know what I mean it could be one of those? Again, it's just a lot of nostalgia. So I completely understand. I'm to blame here. This is my own doing.
This is your fault.
No, it is. This is 100% my
Yeah.
fault. And I don't think I've ever spoke so much about a film in my fucking life. I'm talking to everyone. Have you seen Beetlejuice? How do you feel about it? Like, I'm just so... I want to know what I'm missing. And again,
Yeah.
I think it is just... I'm having a bit of a problem kind of moving on from those original characters. But we're setting up loads of new ones, and I feel like they're all just... It's just all over the place. There's so much going on in this film. It is crazy.
Yeah, I think your like issue with that was what made it great for me.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that it was just pure chaos. I kind of like the fact that there was a few characters like that whole sort of Gerald Hager story was just done. I kind of like the fact that it wasn't like this whole. I think we're so used to seeing like Marvel film, DC films now at this point where not comparing them to, but
I was
where you
thinking
have
that.
a hero, a villain,
Yeah.
then they kind of go throughout the entire film and have a big fight at the end. So it was kind of nice to see them do stuff a bit differently, where there is a bad guy and they just kill him off quite easily, or there is a good person, they kind of get rid of them, or whatever. Like, people are dying. People, I think the fact they blended
Yeah.
the two of people who are dead and people who are alive, and it was like you were never really sure what was going on
Yeah.
and what was going to happen to people and that sort of thing. Like, I think that's what made it great for me.
And this is
So I think it was just pure chaos, where I think it was just, as I said, I just didn't get bored. I didn't find it boring in the slightest. I can understand with the bride, and I think you have an issue with General Taker, whereas I don't. So for me,
I didn't think I did until this.
Yeah, you do.
And then I was just
you do.
but I don't know why, because when X came out, I watched it pretty much for her. Scream 5 and 6, she's great. But I feel like she's just been in so much, and people have deemed her this big horror icon already. And I just don't agree with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just an odd one. She's been forced in.
She is a modern day.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, she is, because we think of the big franchises that are out now, she's in them. So she kind of is like that new age sort of horror icon, I guess. I think with the Scream, depending on what happens with that going forward, I think she can kind of. Yeah, I mean, you know, whether it's Scream, isn't it? It always finds a way back.
They've left. They didn't come because they kicked Melissa Barrera out because of her views on Twitter, and then Jenna also quit, and she was like, "Yeah, we're not coming back." So
fair enough. Well, maybe not then. So she finds a new franchise. No, but yeah, I think she's. I like her. I do. I think she needs that, like, weird performance, doesn't she? She needs that, like, because at the moment she plays sad emo girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it kind of hits a point, doesn't it, where I can understand it, where you hit a point of going, I can't be asked for sad emo girl again. So I think she does need that film, where she does something completely different, where people go, ooh, okay, like, yeah, she can go, like, as I said, at the moment she's either final girl or sad emo girl. That's all she really is. But I don't have an issue with it personally. I think I can understand your issues. And I can understand all the sort of problems with it. And I thought, realistically, it's one of those films where I used to have an issue with these things, because usually I'm the sort of person to be like, "Oh, it's a mess. Nothing makes sense. This is it.
I was expecting to love this, and you hate it. That's what I was expecting. And like I said, I don't hate it. I really don't. I think on a rewatch, I will enjoy it a lot more, because now I know what I'm expecting. But right now, I'm torn to positive. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those. I know I just bitched for like 10 minutes, but it's nothing that like ruins the film. It's just issues I've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think probably on a rewatch, if you go into it with a bit more like open-minded, I think you'll probably be a bit like, oh, okay, I can kind of appreciate like what they were doing. I mean, that, as I said, that whole musical bit at the end is just incredible.
It's so fucking funny as well. I like
it's so good.
That's a big positive of this film. It's hilarious. This film is so funny, and like, I finished the film. I looked over at Rich and I went, "It was all right," and he went, "But you were pissing yourself the whole time." I was like, "It's so
you
funny."
Do this though.
Yeah, no, I do.
You do this, like you do.
Man, Quantumania.
We've been in, we've been in many a film where you've been laughing hysterically throughout it and going, "Oh, I don't really like that, man." You're like, well, I think you're lying.
I like comedy. What can I say? I also think, let's be real, the best character of this film, Bob. Bob, justice for Bob. He is the absolute best character
ever. Love Bob. It was so funny though, because obviously, like, you know, again, little spoilery sort of things, but like when that happened to him, like everyone else, people going, "Ha ha," and it was a genuine like, oh,
yeah.
No. The screen was just hilarious. I was like, oh, I liked him. What the fuck?
And I think with Tim Burton, you can be negative about Tim Burton all day long, but he knows how to make iconic characters. And I think Bob will be an iconic character for years to come.
Oh yeah, like, There's going to be like toys and all sorts coming out for Bob, like,
and baby Beetlejuice.
Jesus, terrifying.
That's another thing about this film that I thought was a massive blow-in positive. They pushed the age rating so far. There was children in my screen, which I was like, they're going to be fucking horrified, because they drop an F-bomb and it's very fucking funny, because this is very comparable to the first one. And I mean, there's gore. There's actual gore here, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is, isn't it? It's that like I mean, it's barely towing the line anymore, isn't it? I think it's kind of how films are now,
Yeah.
though. I think that like 12, is it 12A?
Yeah, so this is 12A, and in the back in the day, the first
Yeah,
one was a 15, but now it's a 12. But like
yeah.
you can still see they're
I think
both.
12A really like 12A has become what 15 used to be, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
because I mean, there's a bit in this film where you basically see Beetlejuice fucking. And I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's pretty extreme for a
yeah,
12. Like, I was so
yeah,
impressed with how much they pushed
yeah.
that barrier. Because I'm so sick of these franchise films coming out and playing it safe. Like, I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
So,
So
safe. So the fact that this one really, like, played with that line, loved it. Big
yeah,
fan.
yeah. So Dan, anything else?
No, I think just
Any more
general.
bitching?
No, no more bitching. I think just general thoughts is it's good. It's really good, and I can see and I can appreciate all the goodness. There's just bits I want more of, and there's characters I want less of. That's it. And I think
Fair enough.
on a rewatch, I'm probably going to appreciate it a lot more. But again, I think I just went in with the wrong mindset because I love Beetlejuice. I love that
Yeah.
first film so much. And again, I just think I went in with the wrong mindset. But this is clearly going to be a repeat Halloween viewing. Like, this film kicked off the spooky season so well. Let's be honest. Like, it is perfect. It's such a good vibes, man. You know what I mean?
It certainly is, man.
It's
It
true
certainly
though.
is.
Like what I'm saying is true.
Yeah, no, it
So
is. No, I know.
out of 10, on Letterboxd I was quite harsh, but on here I'm feeling better because I've spoken about it. I've gotten my issues out. I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10. I know, but that I really like it and I just want to love it. I just
What's it
want
given a letterbox?
2.5 out of 5. I know, harsh, very harsh.
You're horrible.
But I came out
man.
the cinema and I was just like, I fucking
Angry.
yeah, literally. Go on.
I'm going
10.
10.
You're lying.
Oh,
Full 10, not a problem.
well, 10, not a problem.
What the hell?
This is probably the second best film I've seen this year.
What's the first? Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
shocking. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, genuinely, like, I just had a surprisingly great time, and I think, especially with, as we will, little spoiler movies as what's to come in. But yeah, with watching, I've watched a lot of Burton. I've watched a lot.
I'm
Burton.
almost finished.
Yeah, I've watched a hell of a lot of it, and I think, yeah, to get to a point now where I'm like, oh, this is good compared to what everything else you've done.
Yeah.
This is
Not to
fantastic.
spoil too much, but do you think this is one of, if not his best?
One of
Wow.
those two, yeah, top three, I think.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we had different thoughts because again, like I'm so glad people are loving this. Like I am so glad.
Yeah.
I will
cool.
champion this film for the rest of my life because I want people to love it. I just want to be there with you. Do you know what I mean? I really want
We're
to be
almost
there.
definitely getting a third in me.
He said it's not happening, but who knows? Who knows? Tim Burton, yeah. He basically said this one took so long that if he was to make another one, he'd basically be dead. So, you know.
Yeah, that was fair.
The ending is
I-
very
I-
ambiguous, and I hope they make a third. I do, but I can't
Yeah.
see it. I can't really see it, unfortunately.
Oh, fair enough. It definitely felt like they're going to, but I think this is going to make a ton of money.
But
So
as I said, I
would
work
not
in
be
a
surprised.
certain unnamed cinema, and it's been carnage, fucking carnage for this. Every
Yeah, I bet.
screening is sold out. So
Yeah, no, I bet. Yeah, no, it was busy yesterday. Shadow Palace Cinema, Harvard West.
wait.
But yeah, no, it was busy there as well. So yeah, I think this is going to make insane bang.
Yeah, I'm glad. I genuinely am glad. Like, I don't want people to go away from this and go, he fucking hates this. I don't hate
He
this.
does.
I
He does.
don't.
6.5 hates it. Horrible man, like.
But okay, you saying, I'm just trying to think of basic. Right, the question I would like to ask is, you're now
Okay.
saying this is what, second favorite film of the year?
Probably, I'd have to from off the top of my head, probably.
Which I think
yeah.
is a surprise. So, what is your, not yours because I think this is kind of it, but what is your surprising kind of film take of the year? Because I think mine is, I watched Trap last week. Now everyone was dogging on this thing. People were hating it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Obviously,
really?
it's M Night Shyamalan. You've got two groups. You've got people who live by M Night Shyamalan and say everything he does is great, or you've got the kind of realist people that go, it's shit. Do you know what I mean? It is shit. I put this on expecting to kind of be like, it's all right. I had a really good time with Trap. It's kind of that like. It's so cheesy that it works for me. Like, it's so much fun. So I'm looking forward to see what you think. But yeah, I think that's kind of my surprising film take of the year.
It's probably this, bud.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, yeah.
It probably is this, because I think, like, you know, as I said, off the top of my head, I can't really think of a film that I've watched that's come out this year that I've been like, oh, I did not expect this to be that good. I went as a bit like, it'll probably be alright. I kind of more watched it for...
This.
We needed to film something for it, so I guess I'll watch it. It's something out, it's something to do with a fan, why not? And then, yeah, I just came away being like, I just found myself there, big smile on my face, having a great time throughout, and I thought, oh shit, I'm really enjoying this. So yeah, I think it probably is this so far this year.
I'm glad, genuinely I'm glad. But it's fine because we got the best film coming out in December, so don't even need to worry. No problem.
That's right.
Sonic.
Oh, when is the other one?
Which other one, sorry?
Isn't that December as well? Our little Santa Man.
Oh, October. That's next month, baby.
Oh shit, is it?
I can't wait. I'm so excited. But yes. Anyway, where can everyone find us?
We are at The Feature Fellas. We are on X. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on their YouTube. We are on Spotify. You can't hear this one, but we're there if you want to listen. Like, share, subscribe, comment. What do you want? You can do the comments.
Well, like I said, I just want to
grumpy pants over there.
I just want to know everyone's kind of what film surprised you this year. I think that's a pretty decent little question, because we've had a few that I thought were gonna kind of do badly, but ended up being very positively recepted. And I've got a feeling Speak No Evil is going to be very similar this week. I think that is going to be a surprise hit. I do. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's McAvoy, isn't it?
Yes, it's a remake of a film that didn't need a fucking remake.
Oh, it looks right though.
It would if I hadn't seen the original. Which was made like 2 years ago, and it's fucking amazing and horrible. And this film is definitely not going to go as far, but it's gonna make bank, I think. So,
yeah, it looks good.
It does. Right, thank you very much. I will see you next time.
Bachelors.